Studio owners, stick around. In this GSD Show episode, we're sitting down with Jeremy and Louise, studio owners of FunkFit and The Collective, who went from $43,000 to $75,000 in just 3 months. Today, they talk about 3 main points that skyrocketed their growth: their sales process, their meeting rhythms, and their onboarding process for new employees. Let's check it out.
Jeremy, welcome to the show. Luis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike.
So I've been friends with you guys now for a while. I remember I went to your first studio, FunkFit in Gilbert, like, what was that, 2016, 17?
Yeah, that had to be.
It was before then. It would have been like 13,
early 16 or 15.
No. Because I remember you were referencing the Marcus Lemonis thing when I was on stage with him. You said that I saw you with him and you were fans of the show.
Yeah.
But I met him May of 2016 when I was on that stage.
Yeah.
So it had to be right around then.
That's what I
It
think,
feels like longer because we're such good friends.
right,
exactly.
So now it feels like we've been friends since we were in the sandbox as 5-year-olds. But yeah, it's been about 6 years, which is good. And I've been able to watch you guys grow. You've gone, I mean, when I first met you, you weren't at this number, but December of 2021, you guys were at 43K in monthly recurring revenue. And in 3 months, you got it from 43K to 75K, which is about a $32,000 jump. So I definitely want to dive into that. I remember when I met you guys, you were already pretty smart in a lot of the things that most gym owners aren't smart in. You understood the importance of a CRM and using email drip campaigns. You had a lot of that stuff built up. At the time, I think you were using Infusionsoft, and you already had like systems and processes for a lot of things. I think it was just like a lot of little touch-ups you had to do here and there, and that was it, little gaps. But since then, I mean, you guys have gotten real sharp, which I kind of anticipated because of how hungry you guys were. But I want to talk about what you believe made that big impact from 43K to 75K. Cool. Before we dive into that, talk to me about what the collective is. Like, what is the modality of the collective?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be amazing from, what we've had with FunkFit, and then of course our cycle studio that we've had for 6 years as well. And basically taking the cycling and FunkFit, putting them together, and then bringing the whole recovery component to it as well, with the ice baths, the sauna, the breathing, the meditative type workshops. So truly creating the collective, a spot where everyone can come, almost at one spot, everything you need for your health and fitness journey.
Well, and for everyone that doesn't know what FunkFit was, what's FunkFit, and this way we can see the whole thing together.
Yeah, so we started FunkFit in 2008. So it's a personal training studio based with group, semi-private, and private training. And then so that was 2008. In 2016, we started Psycho Ave inside the studio, right? So it was a different brand, different LLC, and we even had a partner with Psycho Ave. And it was just tiny room, 16 bikes, but very cool, lights, music, upbeat, really cool. And it went well, but the problem was that there was a confusion when people will come in. They will say like, okay, I'm looking for Psycho Ave, where it is. Okay, here, let me take you. So we'll grab them literally by the hand, take them there. And then, so it was a slight confusion with that. And we have people that will do Psycho only, and we'll have people that do only the workouts. So like Jeremy said, with the next move, what we're doing is bringing the both together and then forming that collective. And we truly, I mean, we do a really good job with as far as the experience, right? And everybody, I believe, should say that or say that. But this is going to be like game changer, man. It's like the way I know you love to refer to as like the restaurant industry, right? How well they can get it. So it's truly like a high-end restaurant experience, coming in and getting just the room, the deco, the people, the community, everything. So we're super excited about it. But yeah, it's been a hell of a journey.
Now, with the recovery part of the business, you're going to have, like you said, hot tub, cold tub. I'm assuming stuff like maybe Normatec. The really cool thing about that kind of stuff is that really does help build community, because you're putting people in a position to where they get to chill together and just talk, literally chill or sweat or but yeah, they get to like hang out with each other and talk, because this, we're high-fiving in the workouts and stuff, but we actually get to talk Okay.
Yeah.
So 43,000 in December of 2021, $75,381 in February 2022. Is that February?
Yep. Yep.
What was the biggest contributor or set of contributors to that pretty big jump?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, it's practicing what we preach. And we talk so much about how Luis and I might be doing certain things, and understanding things, and then go and tell our team, like, okay, here's what we need to start doing, or do it this way, or let's run this play. But we didn't have things like necessarily documented and written out and consistent. Like, these are the plays. This is how you answer the phone. This is how you do a handoff. This is how you do a handback. And just continuing to develop each of those processes and systems. And that's been the main thing, implementing our weekly meetings with each group of our teams, and then just staying consistent with them. It's so much of the stuff where, it's like, it, but you just weren't necessarily doing it because you're too caught up in other phases of the business, whatever that might be. And it's like, wait, we got to come back to, here are the plays. We knew the plays, but we got to make sure every single person on our team could run the plays just as well as us, if not better.
So when we started working with, I think we told you before, right? But when we started working with you guys, we realized, obviously, you guys had all the systems put in place and the scripts and things like that, right? That we started utilizing. But we also noticed the way that you were running internally your own business, and we're always looking at that or paying attention to that, right? And how you had your meetings. So I know that you were saying you had meetings very consistently, very continuously. So we started doing the same thing. We started having meetings Monday through Thursday, and just small, tiny meetings, 30 minutes, but just consistent. Monday to Thursday with different departments. And Monday was leadership, Tuesday was with our first impressions group, Wednesday with our coaches, and then Thursday with our membership coordinators. And then we just started keep doing that, and then role playing, practicing different things. And I think that's one of the things that's helped us the most, is just being able to train them, right? Yeah. Instead of training our clients, right?
Right.
Us training our people.
Well, what I've kind of learned is your employees, your team, they're your clients as the owner. Yeah. And the actual clients are your employees' clients.
Yeah.
Because just like a client can cancel anytime they want and go to a competitor. So can an employee. A client can leave a bad review anytime they want, or a good one. Yeah. So can an employee. Right. A client can refer you business. Yeah. An employee can refer you people. Yep. Client can ruin culture, right? Like, you've all had that client that kind of brings the room down or brings it up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So can an employee. So, if you can develop the culture internally and focus on, just like we want our clients to feel like they got the best place to work out, there's nowhere better that they can go, they're truly taken care of, this is where they're going to grow. If you could take that same mentality and put it into your people, where this is going to be the best place that they can work, this is where their best chance to grow, it's the same thing. For sure. So you guys are focusing on the right thing, and you're letting your team do what you probably were doing a good portion of the time, which are probably better at it than you anyway.
100%. Yeah. And even something like the onboarding of a new member, right? Where that was a system we got put into place. Like, all right, here's what happens the first 21 days, stretch that out to 90 days. And we're like, well, wait a second, if we're doing this for members, why aren't we doing this for our new team members as well? So a lot of things, we're finding and looking at through the eyes of, well, wait a second, if we're already doing this here, we should be doing the exact same thing here, whether it's our team or whether it's our members. We had one of our newest team members who just finished our training process. Could almost guarantee she's the most prepped and prepared team member we've had, from ones in the past, because it was, here's what we're doing day one, day two, all the way through. Yeah, as opposed to, all right, so you talk to her about what? Okay, I'll talk to her about this, and so they're going to talk to her about this. It's like, nope, here's what it is right here. And again, the simplification of it and what it did for us, not only during this new hire, but for all new hires moving forward. It's like one of those, why weren't we doing this, 10 years ago? Yeah.
So I want to break all three of these down. So the sales process that you really focused on getting right, which I know that's helped a ton. Yeah. The meeting rhythms that you guys have, and then also the onboarding of new employees, essentially to just make sure that, you're able to develop them perfectly. They're able to understand the business well enough to give you their best and get the most out of each other. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Cool. So the sales process. Why don't you talk about some of the things that you felt were broken and what you did to fix them specifically?
I mean, just the tracker will be the simplest one to start, right? So that was something a tool that we got from you guys, just the KPI.
Okay.
Right? Because we're keeping track of our reports, we're keeping track of our P&Ls, right? And I say that with a smile. But just having that KPI, having the scorecards, right? Just, okay, we need to get from here to there. What do we need to do? Where are we lacking? Where can we improve?
What are some of the KPIs that you have on that sheet? I know what they are, but just so everyone listening,
sure.
New leads, booking, shows, closing percentage.
So number of new leads, of those, how many of those did you book? And then a percentage of those, how many of those showed and the percentage, how many of those did you close, and that percentage. And then also like dollar per sale.
Dollar per sale as well.
I know that there has been updates to where now there's like also referrals per sale. Do you guys have that one tracked as well? So for everybody listening, definitely ask for referrals. You ask for how many?
Ask for 5.
And be happy with
3.
Be happy with 3.
For sure.
So being able to track that is really important. So do you guys have a good idea without looking at the tracker where you stand on book percentage or show percentage, close percentage, all that?
Yeah. Sure. We've been, and obviously some months better than others.
Right.
And something we talked with Corbin about too during our monthly calls is, we're right there around those industry average numbers. So a big focus for us is like, okay, where are those other little chinks in the armor, so to speak, that we can tighten up even more to get above average on most of those. And that's where we started doing the credit card, taking the credit card for
to improve the show rate.
To improve the show rate right there. Our matter of fact, we just had a call with Jonathan and our MCs on Thursday, and he was just giving us some great tips, on some specific closing type responses, where people were given different like, oh well, what about this? What can I do with what about the price? So I can afford it. I need to think about it. Some of those objections. And he gave us some great insight on, hey, here's some great things here's what you're doing, but let's go from good to great with some of those. With a lot of them just simply how we were wording things even with that. So that of course will help with the closing.
So with the asking for credit cards at the point of booking to ensure you get more people to show up, really quick, we're going to talk about how well that works, but if the video team can actually cut to the episode with Corbin where we just did that role play real quick, that would be real helpful, and then we'll come right back. Let's say you're scheduling me right now, okay? And you confirm with me 6 o'clock works, I'll show up at 5:30 early.
Right.
How do you present to me that you're gonna have to collect a credit card?
So now that we've got your appointment all set up, Mike, just to let you know, we are reservation based here at Orange Theory, so I will need a debit or credit card to hold your spot in class. Again, this is completely complimentary, but I just will need that debit or credit card. I'm ready when you are, right? So I control the conversation.
Okay,
right?
Now let's say I were to say, okay, are you going to charge it though?
Absolutely not. This is completely complimentary. It just holds your spot in our class. We're reservation based.
Okay. All right. So what if I don't show up?
Yeah, without a doubt. Ideally, right, we would ask that you give us some notice on that as well. But again, nothing will be charged. We don't want to charge you. We'd rather you show up.
Okay, but if I don't show up, am I getting charged?
If you do it a couple more times, then probably yes.
Okay, so
Right.
so basically, you're letting me know that nothing's going to happen. However, if we make a habit of this, then
Right.
you'll charge it. All right, we're back. So with the percentage, what did you notice it was at, and what did you notice it is now of the percentage of people that you booked into appointment versus the percentage, like the ones that showed, the percentage of booked to show? Where was it before and where is it at now?
So again, hitting right about that 60%, as far as what's showing now, but we'd had months that were as low as 37 or 40%.
Wow.
So getting up, even May, we're at that 60%, of them showing up. So we know that's been a huge contributor to it. We also tweaked our initial ad a little bit too, where we've been doing a free week, and we brought it down to like 3 free workouts to be even more specific with the urgency on, hey, we need you to show up here. This is, your first workout of the 3, as opposed to okay, when would you like to start this this free
Right.
week? So creating a little more urgency even on that first booking during that call.
And what's your close percentage look like?
So closing, yeah, right about that 50.
So that's great.
50%, yeah.
You don't
So
need my help
get
there.
them in.
Yeah.
Once they show up, we're good, and especially I'll elaborate, and I know Luis could elaborate even more. Highlight his daughter Sarah. She's our top MC, our top membership coordinator. So she's just one of those where we know when she gets in front of someone, and she's followed all the steps and processes, it's a no-brainer. They're signing up.
So I mean, think about that, right? Because your close percentage is so good, this is why it's good for everybody listening to really look at all of these KPIs in a line and then have a what if meeting. What if we booked, or what if 85% of the booked appointments showed versus 65%? What would that mean is out of 100 booked appointments, you would have 20 more booked that would show.
Yeah.
Out of those 20, you're going to close more than half.
Yeah.
So you get at least 10 more sales.
Mm-hmm.
So how many appointments do you typically book in a month right now?
So typically they're around, so let's see, reverse engineer, if we're closing 20 to 25, so that puts us about 50
show.
50 to 60 that show.
Which means you're probably right around 80 to 90 book.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, 70. Yeah, like 70 book.
70 book.
Okay, cool. So that means about every month and a half, you're getting 10 more sales.
Right.
Which means you're getting about 7 more sales per month without changing anything.
Yeah.
Which at the end of a year, that's 84 more sales.
Yeah.
But it's also 84 times 3 referrals, which is who knows how many sales, because that just continues to go with everyone you sell, they get referrals.
Yeah.
But that 84 more sales, let's say nothing else happened, just that, 84 times, what's your average monthly right now?
Coming up on 199.
$200.
Yeah.
So you're talking extra $16,000, $17,000 in monthly recurring revenue, which is equal to right around $160,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good math.
Just I'm probably off a little, but that's generally in the ballpark.
for
And that
sure.
doesn't include referral money.
Right.
That doesn't include ancillary sale money, right? From you guys have supplements, you guys have retail,
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
So
going well.
so imagine that monthly revenue at stealing just by getting that. If you get that show percentage from 65 to 85 and keep everything else the same, you're adding an extra 180 grand.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, those small little tweaks that turn exponential gains, basically.
Yeah, it's usually one of those. Even with our sales team, the problem I think a lot of people make is when they're not tracking really those things, you're not identifying what can be improved. So you want to fix everything.
Right.
But it's hard to get significantly better at anything when you're working on everything.
Yeah.
But if you can look at it and be like, man, what if we just did this? If we just got that down, let's just focus on that this month. Let's just get it to 85%. That's the goal, guys. That's what we're aiming for. We're all running towards 85, keeping everything the same. If you guys can just focus on that one thing, look at the difference it would make over the company, right? And now you can show your team. And I would actually break down the referrals as well, because you're probably looking closer to 400K impact when you think of all the referrals. Just go 2 layers deep on referrals.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now you can show the employees, hey guys, 20% may sound like nothing, but it's almost $500,000. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, you also mentioned the way that you guys answer the phone. That's been improved, and getting your whole team to buy in on it. So you guys do role playing with your team?
We do.
How often do you do role playing?
We do it every meeting. Every of those 30-minute meetings, we have at least 1 or 2 people just go and different topics. And what we've been doing recently too is just going over, and we just started doing this, right? But simplifying the process too, right? Having not as many topics to go through, but just coming back to the same topics. And we even told the team, it's like, guys, when we get to a topic, you'll be like, oh, here we go again. That's when we know we're doing it right?
I love
we're just starting, because it's all repetition. It's what we do.
It is. And you know what? Same thing like the KPIs, right? You have all these things you can improve. The sales process has all these steps, right? From the TI, the telephone inquiry when they first call in, or when you call a lead, either one of those two, all the way to the booking, to when they walk in the door, to the tour, to the price presentation, to the close, to the overcoming objections, to the asking for referrals. These are all steps, right? I think where a lot of companies make mistakes is they want to role play that entire journey.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
Whereas they go, okay, this is the one area we really want to work on getting better. Because if we can just get when we call out leads, if we can go from 60% of our leads being booked to 75% of our leads being booked, look what happens.
Yeah.
Or if we can get, when our price presentation, if we can get just 20% more of our members that buy from us to buy the bigger program, here's what that does. So let's just focus on the price presentation and nothing else. And we'll stop once they pick the one they want. We won't ask for referrals. That's a different day.
Yeah.
That's a different trading day.
Yeah.
Because you get so many more reps in.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
and it's better. Then over the course of a year, if you practice the whole thing versus if you just practice piece by piece, you're gonna definitely master that a lot faster.
Yeah. What I love, even right there in that same breath, something else we picked up from you, like even within that piece, so as we're going through the phone inquiry, instead of letting them go through the full thing, okay, well, Mike, here, you could have done this here, you should have said this here. Hey, actually, Mike, so right here, remember we want to say this. Okay,
Right.
continue. All right, pause right there. An even better thing would be to say this. So that's something we picked up from you too.
I love
forget
that.
if that's LRVT or one
Probably
of the
just, I said it
podcasts or
somewhere,
something.
I'm sure.
Yeah, somewhere. But
And what's
that's
really
huge.
cool too, because you guys have several people on those trainings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can actually get the team engaged, so let's say I'm role playing with you and you don't say something exactly the way that we think is best, like you drifted a little bit from script, I could say, okay, hold. Who here knows, who here thinks they could have done that part a little differently?
Yeah.
Right? And then, Luis, what do you think? And then he can go in, yes, right, Jeremy, what did you notice he did differently?
Yeah.
That's right. Because usually you know what you did wrong after you did it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you didn't catch it then, you'll know what you did wrong after you hear someone else do it right.
For sure.
And then you're like, oh, yeah, that's right, right? So that's awesome. What about the tour? Have you guys invested more time into the tour when somebody first comes in for their first appointment versus where you guys were at before?
Yes.
What's that
So,
look like now?
In terms of, you mean training our team?
Like when
Did we invest any
like
time
when
in
I
that?
first come in as a prospect, I just got in here. I've never been in your studio before. Now I'm going to get a tour to see what this place is all about. I know where the bathrooms are and all that, but also using it as a sales tool.
Yeah.
Sales.
Yeah.
We're improving. I think we still need a little bit more work there. We can always use more work because right now the team feels comfortable showing the place, even though it's funny, right? Because even though we train them about, like, here's what you say about the supplements, here's what you say about the retail. Once they get to the point where they need to do the tour, they go to the comfortable to like, here's this.
Like you're just showing them around?
Yes. So our next step, and this is, like you said, we're breaking it into pieces, is we need to tackle more the supplements, like in terms of what we do. And the way that we do it is like we have a very holistic approach to all training, supplementation, and nutrition, right?
Okay.
This is what we have. Everything that we have in here has a story. We just don't sell things to sell them. Like everything is super clean. What you see on this side, this is all our gear, right? If you need something, if you forget your shirt, this is what we have. But once they get there with a member, they're not doing it yet.
Yeah.
Right? But we need to just role play with them
reps.
more. Yeah, we need to role play with them more. And then the last part is they're really good about talking about the product, right? And I think we believe that's really good, but we need to have them talk about the experience. This is where you're going to get stronger, right? This is where you're going to high-five people, where you're going to meet people. So
Exactly.
we need
You know, so
role play.
here's what we can do for your team. Show them this part of the show that we're about to dive into, okay? So the tour, the goal is to plant seeds. You're planting things in people's mind in order for them to experience the same thing differently. So let's say you guys knew that I really know Italian food. Like I know it well. I grew up eating it. My mom makes it. I know all the names of it. I enjoy tasting the same things at different restaurants to see who's doing it right. By the way, I am that guy. Okay, but that's who I am. Now, if you know that about me, and I were to say to you, let's say we just showed up at an Italian restaurant and you suggested I meet you at, and you go, yeah, what do you think of this place? Have you eaten here? And I say, yeah, I've eaten here before. This is honestly the most authentic Italian food you'll ever have. This is like the best place. I've never tasted anything as good as this. Hands down, #1 spot for Italian food. Now, if you've never eaten there before, I just changed the way you're about to take that bite. When you take that bite, you're going with a certain mindset, much like the child that maybe never had that flavor of ice cream, but is already thinking they're going to like it, or the child that's never tasted broccoli, but is already like, no. It's already changed the experience, right? Now, when you take that bite of Italian food, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. You know, it could have tasted the same way, but if, let's say, instead of me saying that, in the beginning, I said, yeah, I've eaten here before. It's all right. Honestly, it's like not really Italian food. Like you call it Italian food, but it's like might as well be macaroni and ketchup with water. Yeah. It's like very watery. The sauce is like watery. The texture is like hard. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. When you taste the sauce, how's it going to taste to you? Watery. Yeah. How's the pasta going to taste? A little rough, a little tough, right? You're going to taste it differently because I planted the seed. Same thing. You ever go to the movie with someone and they're already negative? Like, dude, I can't stand this guy. He's so not funny. Will Ferrell's not funny to me. I can't enjoy Will Ferrell the same way sitting next to a person that doesn't like Will Ferrell. It's different to me. Versus somebody's like, dude, just his faces alone, Will Ferrell's face makes me laugh. Before he even talks, he makes me laugh. You are probably laughing at his faces and laughing with this person. So you can plant seeds, change the same experience, make it feel differently just by planting those seeds. So same thing, when you're given the tour, you're able to say something like, this right here is our data center. So in this center, this is where we do body fat analysis. This is where you're able to tell your metabolic rate, you know, understand how much you probably should be eating, going over your measurements. Ultimately, we help people get results based on math. We believe fitness is a lot easier than 99% of gyms make it out to be, which is why we get such great results, because it really just comes down to math. In fact, 92% of our members report showing a higher strength of more than 50% inside their first 45 days with us. On top of that, people with a fat loss goal notice a decrease of 25% of their existing body fat within the first 60 days. And it's all because we track it here. Sound cool? Yeah. Already, they're seeing the workout as a formula, as opposed to just, I'm getting thrown around a bunch of stuff, right? Okay. Now, just so you know, Jeremy and Luis, when we do the workouts, you're going to notice that we're going to do them a little bit differently. Probably similar routines to what you've done, but we're tweaking things. What that's going to do is going to allow you to feel them differently. You mentioned here you wanted to improve your glutes, your quads, and your shoulders specifically. Yes? Well, the program that we've got going today, I want you to pay attention when you're working out your glutes, when you're working out your quads, when you're working out your shoulders. You're going to feel a difference in what you've done. And that little difference, that little adjustment is what makes this goal take 9 months to achieve, or possibly never, to 30 to 50 days. Does that make sense? So think about that when you're working out. You'll feel it differently. Now, when they're working out and they're doing those push-ups or doing those arm raises, hey, turn your shoulders back a little more. There you go. Now do it. Do you feel it different? Yes. That's the difference of 60 days to possibly never getting your results. Keep it up. You move on. Now they're like, man. So it tastes different. It feels different. Everything seems different to them. You want them sold before they see the price. And you've probably been in situations like that before, right? Where you're like, I already, like with your kids, you ever go to something like a martial arts school and they give you a tour or something, you're like, I already know I want this. This is good. The way they do it is perfect. So that's what you want. The tour sells them before you close them. Before they take the workout. Cool?
I love that, man. I mean, I think, and that's the difference in training, right? That's the difference in training, us training the team, and you know, they believe. You got to believe, right? And they believe, but it's a difference as when you tell people what it is and what the benefit for them is and all of that. So
it's just got to be different. Because how many studios do that? Nobody. If you want to sound different in a crowd of people singing Jingle Bells, you have to sing a totally different song loudly. Right? And you can't sing Jingle Bells and stand out. Even if you sing louder, you'll blend. Right? So you got to say things, we got to do things differently if we want them to feel the feeling of, this is different. This is different, right? Sure. Can't be the same old thing, otherwise it's going to come to a price game.
For sure.
Right?
I think especially with today's demographic, right, where we're getting more of those people that they want to be working out, you know, and they've done different things. You know, they've gone to, you know, the F45s or the Orange Theories or their own thing at LA Fitness. So them hearing more of that experience, you know, and the data tied in with that experience. Oh, okay. this is why I want to start doing this now, because this maybe wasn't getting me from here to there. So,
right.
Yeah.
And the benefit you guys have is you actually have all those things. So you just have to highlight them and create little stories around each one.
Yeah.
So each stop along that tour is a little story explaining why this exists.
Yeah.
Its main benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really focus, and we tell our team we're value-driven pricing, right? Not competitive pricing, nothing like that. It's just so it is on more of what we have to offer to them, right? What that dish is, what that experience is.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that too, because there's a book that I'm just finishing up right now called Confessions of a Pricing Man. It's a pretty good book. Okay. But what it showed is there's a study that was done on like the brain and how it triggers with certain things. And there is endorphins and dopamine that gets released when they get the cheapest price. But there's also dopamines and endorphins released when they get the most expensive thing. Mm-hmm. So getting the most expensive version of something makes you feel good. Finding the cheapest thing that's existing outside also makes you feel good. There's zero chemical reactions in the brain when you get something in the middle. Yeah. Getting the best wine or the cheapest wine versus something in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. And I wonder if like getting the cheapest is a shorter release, right, of dopamine, or if you see the other one where it's like every time you get billed, you get that.
Yeah. Well, I think the study.
But it's good. I need it. You know.
Yeah, the study broke up in the reasons. So not everyone got those chemical releases on either end. Mm-hmm. You got to remember, there's some people that really they get excited by the lowest price. They get excited by the bargain. You've also got other people that get excited by having the best. Yeah. So they actually showed people in parts of Europe, especially Germany, there were a higher percentage of people that really enjoyed getting the best. They value paying more for the perceived best. Yeah. So now in the US, there was a pretty good balance. It just depends on the market you go to. There's some people that I just want the cheapest and makes me feel good saying, and you hear people say, right, like, oh yeah, I found this at this place for only this much money, right? And then you have other people that, yeah, I paid more, but it's the best.
That's what it is.
What about if it's something that it's going to be beneficial for you? And I don't know if it ever happens to you guys, right? But if you see something that's going to be beneficial for you, let's say a food, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to put it in your body, literally put it in your body. And you have one that is $10, one that is $5, one that is $3. Be like $10, I know this is like an average $2 to $3 item. And then you keep coming back to it. It's like, but I wonder why is $10? Like, does it have like supernatural ingredients on it that I need to like just try it and
well, that is what happens, but it does happen for specific people. There's some people that could care less. I mean, that's why at the grocery store there's grass-fed, organic, cage-free, and then there's also the Kroger option where they're caged up, right? Yeah. So you have people that go, dude, I don't care. I just need the thing. Mm-hmm. And then you have other people that want the best. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really what the study talks about, is that just know both exist. For sure. But when you're in the middle, you're really appealing to nobody. Right. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? For sure. It's interesting.
What's that? It's that curve, right? What is that curve called? The bell curve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you got the bottom, the high, and the endorphins exist up here. Yeah. So your meeting rhythms, you guys said you meet Monday through Thursday with your teams. Does it have some sort of a structure or an agenda to it? Like when we first get into the meeting to the end of the meeting, is there like a set of steps that you guys go through?
I'll let Jeremy go on this one. And I just want to say he's done a really good job with, I've helped him, right, with the strategy, but not after he created it. And on Mondays when we do our leadership team, we use Traction and like literally pull up
the EOS system.
The EOS system, and then on the other days, if you want to touch on those.
Yeah. So everyone that's watching or listening right now, if you're not familiar, Traction is a really good book. It's a competitor of Scaling Up, which is another really good book. We use Scaling Up. You use Traction, but at the end of the day, it's virtually the same. It's just steps on how to run a business, and then EOS is the system that Traction has, and Gazelles is a system that Scaling Up has. Just so everyone knows what we're meaning. Okay, go ahead.
So just having that rhythm to them, right? So we'll always start with like gratitude and wins all around one of our core values. So we've got our 7 core values. So every single week, we've got our core value of the week focus. All right, guys, core value focus for this week's 1% better. Here's what that means to us. It means, those small continuous improvements. Who here's had some great wins this past week around getting better, or saw a member getting better, or your teammate getting better? So we'll give everyone that opportunity to share and kind of have some fun. And it keeps driving home even the repetition of the core values, right? So it's not just just like we talked at GSD Con, it's not just here's this list I need to memorize. It's, this is a foundation of who we are. And especially for us right now, getting ready to move locations, what we've been telling everyone, hey, our location and our name might be changing, but the foundation's exactly the same. And it's these core values. So a huge part, that's always a kickoff, like that initial 8 to 10 minutes, diving into that. And then we'll get into our, what we picked up from you and Matt, 5 things to be dangerously good at. So we're rotating through those every week. The TI, the intake process, the sales process, workout process, and of course referrals.
So wait, let's break those down, because you got to assume people listening are far from where you guys are at. Okay, so the TI process, telephone inquiry. So that's when you call new leads that came in, or when you answer the phone for leads that are calling in. TI. Then there's the intake process. So that's when you're sitting down with somebody and you got their intake form and you're working through it, because you're actually using this as a sales tool. This is where you're learning how to overcome objections, as well as you're getting their real why as to why they're here, and you can keep referencing back to it. Then there's the actual sales process, right? And what's 4 and 5?
Workout process. And referrals.
And then referrals. And so right now, are you guys tracking your referrals?
We are on the same scorecard, monthly scorecard, and then we just finished running like a refer and receive campaign as well. So
how'd that do?
It did good. And again, I say good because I know it can be better, but some of the best feedback that we got from our team, this was the second time we had done it, and they said, you know what, this time it felt like we got people who wanted to come in.
Probably promoted it better, or your team did.
Better promotion, and then also it wasn't, I think the first time we ran the play, our first time, it was more, okay, Mike, who do you know, pull out your phone. And we had some people that were just, as people, we messaged a few people, they're like, who is that? I don't even know who that is.
They gave you fake numbers.
So this time was more qualitative.
Break down for everyone that's tuning in, what is a refer and receive program?
So essentially it's a great campaign you can run where you've got a big prize. We did a cruiser bike the first time. We did a big a cooler from Calavera, a local company in Queen Creek, and we stuffed it with some of the supplements we sell, some beach towels, a gift card, just a bunch of fun stuff in there. And then essentially, for 2 weeks we ran this. Team was, mentioning it after every workout. We were sending out emails, texts, but essentially every time our members gave us, someone that they thought would also be a good fit to work out with us, they'd get 3 tickets into the raffle. And then if they worked out with their referral, they'd give them another ticket. If their referral ended up signing up and becoming a member, both of them would get 5 tickets.
Okay.
So we just kept building up the tickets over the course of the 2 weeks. And matter of fact, just did the drawing for it on Friday, and it was one of our new members who had just signed up. And she had actually gotten the extra tickets because she got her husband signed up. So one of those tickets from getting her husband signed up was the one that got pulled. And I knew because it was my handwriting on the ticket right there. So it was like a perfect, kind of perfect world where it was not only a new member, but also a new member that had already referred someone to us as well.
Okay, so now that refer and receive program, how often are you doing it? Because I know you said you did it this time, you did it again in the past. How often are you at least planning on doing it?
With that one, we're thinking twice a year right now.
Twice a year?
So the bike one was in September. This one was end of May. Okay. So spacing it out, and one of the best things that Luis and I talked about for our team was it gave them the opportunity in those 2 weeks of getting more reps in, of asking for referrals.
Yeah.
So now it's, hey, we're really doing this, but now every day, here's what we do.
Yeah, sure. I love that. I want to talk about your onboarding before we close out, because I think a lot of people undervalue this. Yeah. Everybody wants to have a great team and be a part of a great team. And from personal experience, as well as watching it with others, an onboarding process is crucial to that. And I can name a good handful or more of employees that I've had in the past that are no longer with my company, whether it's because we let them go or because they quit, that I go, man, you know what? I think if I'd have done a better job, they would have been awesome here.
Yeah.
They would have been awesome.
Right there with
and
you.
so, and I think a lot of people don't think about that stuff. I think a lot of people go good riddance once the person leaves, as if they were not a good fit.
Right.
So let's talk about the onboarding. What does that look like? I'm a new employee. I just started. I said, yes, I accepted your offer. What's next?
I think one of the most important things is us also being in a position to not hire out of immediate emergency need. Like, oh, shoot, so-and-so just left or quit. We got to find someone. We need a shift cover next week. So that's what we did this time.
But how do you avoid that? How do you avoid settling when you're in a rush to get someone, or are you not in a rush anymore?
So I mean, having a portfolio, having people.
That virtual bench is what we've called it. So
Yep.
we started looking for our most recent teammate about 6 weeks before we knew one of our first impressions is going on maternity leave. So instead of waiting until the week before, we started looking early, put the applications out, picked up a lot from Cameron Harold's leadership course in LRVT.
Yeah.
One of the things we did, someone fills out the application from the website, they got directed to a link. All right, Mike, next step for you, read our core values here. Here's what we're all about. This is a big part of our company. We would love for you to send us a 30 to 60 second video, or actually it was 15 to 30 second video, no longer in that. Share them with us why you feel you'd be a great fit, and align with these core values.
Have people been doing it?
So the number of applications that we got compared to the videos that we've received, and our newest hire was one of the ones that sent the video.
So not everyone does the video, right?
And I love it because it saves us time. Like, okay, well, they didn't bother taking that next step. How's that going to look down the road, too?
Yeah, we share with our leadership team and, okay, what do you guys think of this person? Should we bring him in for an interview? Yeah, it's great.
Because you could see that and feel it from the video.
For sure.
I like that a lot. So what else? So the onboarding, I started off, you know you got a good fit, or at least you believe you do because of the way that you set that up. It's my first day.
Yeah. So we've got it all mapped out, really those first 15 days, and every day, we'd start right away with, over the top, kind of that objective or overview objective. Hey,
so it's 15 days.
15 days is what we just mapped out. So we talk about like our core values, our purpose, the overview of all those come on first day, our pillars, the 5 things you're going to get great at. And then right away, first day, they'll start watching some LRVT videos as well. So the front desk training videos, the customer service videos, beginner sales videos, all of those are complete by the end of that 15 days, the level 1. So first couple days, just kind of overview, granular, or kind of big picture, and then we started diving into some of the deeper topics. Okay, so we talk about strength, strength, endurance, mobility, nutrition, and now recovery are our pillars. Here are the main things with strength. Here are the main talking points. Getting them set up with our head coach, with our head cycle coach, Luis doing supplement training, having retail training. So literally taking the time on each and every day to go through all of those aspects, that a new team member would see, and then also giving them some shadow time as well. So now it's them learning, and us spending like that hour and a half one-on-one, them seeing it, kind of shadowing our team. Okay, yeah, here are the processes. Here's the checklist to follow. Here's how we clean the rooms. Make sure the stock is turned the right way in the refrigerator. Here's how you make a smoothie. Here's how you greet people. Here are tips to learning names. All of those things continue to come out in each of the days. And then the 5 things to get dangerously good at, we talked about. We flow through those 2 different times in that. So there's 5 each. So there's 10 days within there, and each time just diving even deeper into that.
I love that. Yeah, we like the model where it's teach, they shadow, you shadow.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's what we're doing, here's what you're going to see. Then, okay, you shadow us, now watch it in action. Okay, now you got it, we'll shadow you, and let's see you put it in action. That's a great flow. Awesome. So what are some things that you guys are specifically working on now? I mean, we're currently, well, I don't know when this episode comes out, but we're in June right now of 2022. What are some things that you guys how you have your attention on?
I mean, right now it's having all of our systems implemented, a lot of training, a lot of role playing, because we have a lot of even more responsibility coming, because we're opening that new location by the end of the year, November, December. So there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of energy going into us opening this new location, but we want to make sure that we don't lose something here, right? That we don't drop the ball here. One of our favorite sayings is nothing fails like success, right? Nothing fails like success, and you see that a lot in restaurants. I like the restaurant analogy a lot, right? And I use it with my team, but it's like you see it in restaurants when they're doing really, really well, and you might tell your buddy, right, this is the best Italian place by far you've ever been to. Just wait till we get there. You're driving 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? You get there, and they're so busy that they're dropping the ball. The waiter's not coming in. Didn't bring any even water.
Got the wrong
little
thing.
things that food comes out is still delicious, right? The guys on the back are doing great, but it's just little things are dropping.
Yeah.
And we hate to see that. It happens in many business when you're doing well. So we always, when after events, after things are going really well, we make sure that we mention that, and it's one of our catchphrases.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So our focus anyway. So our focus is just there, but it's also here with our current location.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the revenue goal you guys are going to get to when I have you on the next time?
Yeah, we'll be 150 a month.
Question, yeah.
150 a month.
Our goal right now, through pre-sale opening the collective is 500 members at a 225 average membership, and then of course all the icing on top of the cake, with smoothie apparel sales and everything from there, helping to bring that number up even more.
So that would be 500 members times 300 a month. Would that put you at 150?
That'd be 150, yeah.
So about $75 in ancillary sales.
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, the math makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm proud of you guys. It's fun watching you guys do what you do. I'm super excited for you. I can't wait to see the new place up and running.
Yeah.
And when does it open up? I know it's hard to tell with construction and stuff.
Shooting
but
for by the end of this year, November, December. Yeah.
Man, I cannot wait. I'm going to be the guy where I do it all. I'm going to do the hot tub, the cold tub.
Yeah.
I'm going to taste everything
Come
in
get
there.
it. Come
All
get
right.
it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for giving me so much of your time.
For sure.
Drive down to the coffee shop by my house.
For sure.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
And for everyone watching and listening, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.